Everybody, thanks for coming out. My name is Brian Fielder. Work for Brett Arsenault, our CISO. I think you might have seen him on stage earlier today or yesterday. So what I do for Brett, an internal security organization. I'm one of the managers. Have a couple of teams that I manage. One of them is standards, the fun stuff around setting what we should do in our organization for security controls. The other one is I've got a red team. The reason why I mentioned the red team is I'll bring it up later in our conversation. But then the other thing that Brett has me work on is kind of new initiatives, new strategies for security in the company. So one of them is our topic here today, with Zero Trust. And I just want to start off with, Zero Trust is definitely getting a lot of airtime in industry events. I think we see it a fair amount here. The thing to remember on Zero Trust, though, is there is no specific agreed upon definition of what Zero Trust is. So what we'll share with you is our definition, our interpretation of what we believe Zero Trust is for us internally at Microsoft. And then really it's up for all of you to decide for your own organizations what's relevant for you, what's the principles you want to follow, and how do you want to go implement something similar to Zero Trust, right? So mileage may vary. There's also Forrester has a lot of material on it, and I think they were actually the first analysts to come out in industry and talk about Zero Trust networking. I think that was around 2010, right? They continue to be pretty vocal about the topic, and there's a session later today with our product marketing side, along with, I think they're also referencing Forrester material in that. That session's at 4:30, and I think it's called Zero Trust Hype, and we can give you more information if that's of interest. And then also, just a little setup for this session is, this is really, it's a 20-minute session. This topic is big, like we could go for hours on it, and we have with other customers. So we're only going to really, kind of hit the highlights and skim the surface of it. We have another session at 2 o'clock where we'll go into greater detail on the whole implementation that we've done with Zero Trust, get into more, some more technical conversations, and then I'll also be joined with two of my counterparts on my team, which would be Carmichael and Darshana, who are both subject matter experts and program managers that help us implement it. So just a little informational content there for future sessions. All right, so let's jump into Zero Trust for us. So Zero Trust networking, it started with Zero Trust networking, and then eventually we modified this to be just a Zero Trust model, because it really does go beyond networking. And what we're saying here, when we look at Zero Trust, what we've done is we look at, in the past we spent a lot of time thinking, and our security model was very much aligned to, if you could get access to the network, then you could basically access corporate resources, right? This is the old, kind of how we grew up with computing the last 20 years or so. Remember, Microsoft hasn't just always been an internet-connected company that's offering cloud services, right? So we have a lot of organic growth in our organization, and we've had a lot of controls in our buildings that prevent access to our network. But once you could get access to the network, either through badge access or other methods, then we made the network fairly accessible to all those devices on it, right? And that happened for a number of years. And then when we got to this whole idea of outsourced services, cloud services, bracing mobile, we realized, hey, that old model, firewalls and physical controls doesn't work anymore, right? Because a lot of the resources that we're accessing, that the employees are accessing, are now not on-premise, but they're either hosted in our own cloud or in someone else's cloud. And so we need a different model, right? Same principles we want to take to this new cloud model, which is verify that the person is really who they say they are. And then the whole idea of managed devices on a network, right? That same concept applies to our cloud environment, which is we need to make sure those devices are managed, trusted, before we give access to resources that we have in our corporate environment, which now spans outside of our perimeter and outside of our buildings that we've had in the past. So what we've said is we need to shift our model from thinking about implicit trust if you can get access to the network to, all right, let's verify with strong identity. So second factor methods for identity and identity proofing. And then let's also add in the ability to verify the health and management state of a device. And then what we've done in the past was yes, we had management capabilities on our devices, but we didn't really verify that the devices were managed or verify that they met a certain bar, right? We would push out updates to the environment with System Center Config Manager, and we had that as a separate process, right? The authentication and proof that the device was healthy was never built into that authentication work stream or workflow, and so now we're saying, hey, it needs to be part and it needs to be embedded into that authentication method so that not only do you prove the identity, but we also verify device health and device status when an individual is using a device to get access to corporate resources, right? So that's the concept here. And then the other thing that we did or that we're working on is, and you hear this a lot as well in other companies that are taking this approach for zero trust, is if you look at our corporate environment, it's with just a large number of devices that are on it, it's hard to manage all that, right? And it's hard to make sure that we're 100% secure just because it's a large estate. And we still have legacy devices in the environment as well, and then we have IoT devices coming into the environment. So a lot of different types and components that are in the organization that we have to think about. And what we've said is, in addition to this, let's go implement this authentication workflow where we verify identity and health. We're going to actively move devices out of our corporate network to the greatest extent possible. Because our users, we believe they can be 100% functional on the internet without needing to access corporate resources. And so by default, our users are on internet joined networks. They're no longer in our corporate environment, right? So we basically shrink our footprint as much as we can, and it gives us a couple benefits. Helps us alleviate that complexity, makes that attack surface that we have to protect much smaller, and then it also makes our users more agile because they no longer have to go through a couple of gates to get onto our corporate network, and then they don't have to deal with all that legacy stuff that we've had to deal with in the past either. So that's a pretty big shift that we're doing for ourselves, is aggressively move those users off of the corporate network. And then in order to do that, there's a number of things we have to do that goes into a lot of processes that we have to put in place to make this effective. And this slide is just a kind of a pretty picture that says, effectively, hey, for all the devices coming into the network, if they're not a known system and not a managed device, then their option is they go to our guest network, right? Which is basically, like your guest network that you'd get at your hotel service, right? But we shunt all those devices off to our guest network. And then for the devices that are from our users that are in their known population, like I said, we move those off to an internet zone and give them access to internet connected resources. And then what we've done over the last couple months and what we'll continue to do is we still give users a relief valve to come back into our corporate network if they need to. And that's via VPN connections. It's an auto VPN connection, so it's pretty seamless to the user. But what we do is we watch that VPN traffic and we try to understand, hey, why are users coming back into our corporate environment? If there's anything, like if there's a service or an application that users need, then we go follow up with that application team and say, hey, you application team, you still have a lot of users accessing you, and for whatever reason, you're not internet accessible, so we need to figure that out, right? And so we basically built a burn down list for all those resources that users want to come and access that are still on the corporate network, and we're moving those out as well. So, again, trying to push out as much as possible, shrink our corporate footprint as much as possible so we can secure that. And the other thing I guess I'll mention here is, if you take the zero trust networking or zero trust model to the extreme, we have this environment which may have been mentioned in some of the other talks, which is called our high risk environment, and it's also where our we have a very locked down and very tightly controlled way that we access these high risk environments. And I mentioned the red team earlier, right? My red team, we call it the loot and the stuff they find, the tools that they build, all that is actually stored in one of these one of these high-risk environments, right? So we basically, this is the zero trust model to the extreme. Isolated off, separate identity systems, need a separate device to get in. You have to have 2 different types of identities provisioned to access that environment, and then you have to there is no direct network connection into that environment. You actually have to proxy yourself in through virtualized experiences, right? So that is our like extreme version of zero trust. And again, that really lockdown model is for a very few select set of environments that we call high-risk environments. We've kind of taken that as extreme, but then what we're talking about here is how do we apply something very similar, but to the broad population of users in our company, and that is, okay, let's move them out, let's get them what they need so they don't have to come back into our corporate network, and then really ratchet up our focus on that device health piece, which we haven't done in the past. And then this gets us into our stages of how we've kind of rolled out zero trust networking. When we think about all the different work streams that have to come together, or what in the way that we've defined zero trust for us, we have 15 different work streams that have to come together to make this happen. So this isn't something that, zero trust is not something that you're going to go and buy off the shelf and you're going to implement in a weekend, right? For us, this is a journey. It's going to take us, we think, over the next 2 to 5 years to complete this whole thing. And it's a big shift in how we're doing security, what the security model is, and how users are accessing our corporate environment, right? So it's a lot of changes. And it's a lot of new infrastructure we're putting in place as well, with device management, making sure that those devices can prove that they're, and validate that they're healthy. We're, of course, using our Microsoft services for it. That's Intune that does that in cooperation with Azure Active Directory, right? So that's how we're building this via our conditional access model that you find in Azure Active Directory. And we'll get into more of that in our next session at 2 o'clock. But if you just look at the journey, and we broke it down into different phases, right? Our first phase was kind of what we talked about, this pre-zero trust world in the gray, where it was the gates and moats approach that we had with firewalls, and you had to access the buildings and that sort of stuff. And we started with those high-risk environments, right? Really trying to secure those. But then what we did in the next step was we said, okay, all users in our organization, we need to move to a second factor, not only for verification of who the user is, but also when they register their devices or they register any sort of other item that they want to use in the company, we want a strong proof of identity that we have a high confidence in, right? And so we've done a lot of work on implementing second factor. We also leverage heavily biometrics in our environment, so Windows Hello is predominantly used pretty widely across our entire user base. I think that we're probably in the 90% range for users that are using Hello. And that gives us a couple of other interesting security scenarios that we can leverage, right? We can prompt for step-up authentication without interfering with the user experience. So that gives us these other abilities that we're just on the fringe of exploring, but it also opens up some interesting security scenarios for us as well. Then the next thing that I would say we're kind of on the tail end of is this managed device scenario, and this is what we talked about, right? Enroll all your devices in a management system. Yes, we had System Center Config Manager in the past for all of our Windows devices. We're shifting that over to Intune, but then all the devices that were not managed by System Center Config Manager in our past was Linux, Mac. We also have phones that are in our environment, and those weren't traditionally managed by Config Manager, so we've got them enrolled in Intune. Each one of those was a kind of separate project and a separate journey on their own, and then once you get them enrolled in management, then you actually have to enable the types of checks you want to implement on those devices, right? What do you want to do? Do you want to verify encryption? Do you want to make sure that the PIN is the right level of security? Right? What's your policy there? Right? But for each one of those, you have to determine what that is and then roll that out to each one of those populations individually. So again, it's not something that you can just kind of blanket turn on, because the downside, if you turn on a policy and a large majority of your users don't meet that criteria, you wind up giving yourself a small denial of service for that population. So something you just want to be thoughtful about is how you approach that, set your policies, and make sure you're consistent in how you roll it out, right? So it's a long process. And then once we get through this device health phase, right, we're in this area where we're thinking about all the different methods for access into our organization. Yes, we talked about VPN, and we monitor that quite heavily, but there's also other methods that we think about for access, OA, VDI solutions. We have proxies out there as well, and so we've got an inventory of all those access methods, and basically going through those and making sure that each one of those access methods, including our applications, enforce that they check that the device and identity are meet policy. So not only do you have to make sure your devices and your users are included in this ecosystem you're building, but you also have to make sure all those resources that you want to use in your environment are applying those policies as well, right? So it's a multifaceted rollout phase, right? Get your users and devices done, then you also have to focus on all the things that you want to make sure that when the users and devices access those resources, that they verify those policies that you want them to verify, right? So you have to go through all those resources and make sure that they're doing those checks, and so that's another phase. And then finally we get into the kind of the services phase, which some of this is a future concept as well, which is, so we're going to continue to grow that population, make sure those services that are in use apply and enforce those policies. But the other thing that we're incubating and we're working with our product group counterparts on is this concept of, hey, it's great that the device verifies that it's healthy, but shouldn't we do it the other way around? Shouldn't the application also verify that it's healthy to the device, right? And I don't see very many organizations, actually I don't see anybody in the industry talking about this yet, right? But I think that's where we need to go. I think all parties involved in the communications exchange, right, whether it's the resource that's trying to access, whether it's the device trying to access the resource or it's the resource that's being accessed, all of those should have and exchange some level of health verification with each other so that everyone knows that, that all parties in that communication channel meet the required bar and they can trust each other to have that information exchange. So that's kind of this future proof of concept that we're working on. Nothing to share there yet, but we have some ideas that we're incubating and working with our product group counterparts on, and that's been our approach. So I know that's just kind of a really quick summary of how we're doing this. Again, we'll have another session at 2 o'clock. We'll go into more detail on it, and then there's a session at 4:30, which will reference some of the from our product group counterparts, their approach to zero trust, along with how they line up to the Forrester model. And then just some reminders. For Microsoft, we also share a lot of information about how we implement things internally at the company. You can see an overview of all of our sessions at this link. Oops. And then we also have a booth for just about us and how we're working internally in the company. And again, more sessions for us, just folks within the company, so you can spend some time with those of us that are actually implementing technology and being customers of our own stuff here at Microsoft. So with that, I'll just leave you with the last one, I think, which is fill out evaluations, please, and hope you, if you have any questions, I'll be around. We can chat, or please feel free to stop by our other sessions at 2 o'clock and 4:30. Thanks.